The ever-increasing cost of a college education is a big concern for high school students and their families, as well as the colleges themselves. Connecting Point correspondent Carolee McGrath spoke with Dr. Ira Rubenzahl, the president of Springfield Technical Community College, to hear his concerns on the topic.
The first pilot of a community college making an agreement with a local state university, public state university, to guarantee a $30,000 bachelor's degree.
Which is unheard of.
Well, it's possible.
Yes.
So our agreement, we have an agreement with Westfield State and with Worcester State, and students who enroll with us, they have 3 years actually to complete their associate's degree, to complete 60 credits, then additional 2 years to complete the additional approximately 60 credits at either Worcester State and Westfield State. And during this period, we guarantee that they will not pay more than $30,000. There's actually a number for the community college part, and there's a number for the state university part. I think it's roughly 11 and change, and roughly 29 and change. Okay. Excuse me, 19 and change.
So how does it work, though? Do you have to have a certain major, a certain GPA?
Well, there's a series of majors that transfer. It depends on the program. We have to have programs that align. But there's a series of programs that do transfer in both of those schools. So, for example, liberal arts, if you wanted to do a pre-med, those kinds of programs, you could definitely transfer either to Worcester State or Westfield State.
And business is one of them as well?
Yeah, business, absolutely.
What about your GPA?
Well, you have to be accepted for transfer at Westfield State or Worcester State. So I think in our agreement there's no GPA, but I think in the master, so there's two levels to this. Let me explain. We did this first, and then a couple of other community colleges did it with their local state universities, and the governor heard about it, Governor Baker, who really liked the idea. And by the way, when I said it to a couple of people on my board, they said $30,000 a year. I said, no, $30,000 for 4 years.
Right.
It is really cost effective. It doesn't include books. It doesn't include transportation, doesn't include housing and food, obviously. It includes cost of attendance. And the governor liked it, and I know there are now discussions to have this a master agreement at the state level, which hopefully would include all 15 community colleges, all 9 state universities, and the branches of the University of Massachusetts. So they're not there yet. There's some issues because some of the state universities are a little more expensive, and UMass is actually, if you look at the numbers with UMass, it's a little hard. It's hard right now to get it to 30,000. We'd have to discount. Someone would have to discount. So I think the advantage of the program is it's a guarantee. Right now, you can do both for 30,000. It is possible, but it guarantees that we won't exceed that in the next 5 years.
Next 5 years. So parents know going in, okay, this is the program.
And you can do it, yes.
And this is the price tag.
Yes, yeah.
And you look at the amount of debt that kids are coming out of college with. I mean, an average of $30,000, which actually even seems low. I mean, considering some of these universities are $60,000 a year, it's a lot of debt that kids are taking on.
Right. Excuse me. So some students are, if 30 is an average, some people have 0, and some people have 100.
Right.
So just because it's an average of 30 doesn't mean that everyone can handle is coming out with no more than 30. So yes, debt is a real problem. You know that total college debt is more than all consumer credit card debt. It's passed that a few years ago. It's over, I think it's over, if I have my numbers right, I think it's over, I better be careful by numbers. I think it's over $1 trillion.
Wow.
I think it's exceeded $1 trillion. So it's a very large number, and it's not good for a couple of reasons. One is that we want these young people to go out and get jobs and be able to marry and be able to buy a house.
Right.
And become productive members of society. It's much harder when they're starting with that. How do you buy a house when you already have debt? Because you're going to take on debt when you buy a house.
Right.
So it's really not good, and it does inhibit students from going to college because students don't want to get all that debt.
Let's talk a little bit about a proposal that would support full tuition for kids who attend community college. I know there was an Obama plan. It's been done in Tennessee.
Right.
Is that something you would support here?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Tennessee plan has worked very well, by the way, with the Republican governor.
And lottery funds.
And, well, lottery funds.
Yes.
But this was a Republican governor who did this. This is not a, quote, radical socialist idea. It's a very practical idea. Again, because high school used to be a standard where if you got a high school education, you could earn a living in this country. It's very difficult. People with a high school education have seen their income reduced, their real income reduced over the last 3 decades. That's why there's so much anger in the presidential election. People are saying, why? This country's going backwards. But if you have a college education, your income has been going up, and it seems like that is the standard. You need that to be competitive. So why shouldn't society support that? Just like at one point our country was the leader around the world in supporting public education through high school, why don't we expand that? That's the idea. And I think the free tuition for community colleges is the first step to say, yes, we need students, individuals need more education. We're willing to support that as a society.
Well, free is not free. Of course, the taxpayers would
Someone
be
has to pay for it, yes,
footing
obviously.
the bill. Right.
But that we would eliminate tuition and the taxpayer. And the numbers are not really that dramatic. The amount of money is not that dramatic. I like to say it's a few feet of an aircraft carrier. Make the aircraft carriers a little shorter.
All right, Ira, thank you so much for joining us. There's a lot of good information about sending your kids to college, and I have 5, so I have a lot of things to think about. Thank you so much.
Thank you.